Hello friends, hope you're doing well. This is Granny's GodPod number 80. Why did Jesus write in the dust? I've heard before in the story of the woman caught in adultery in John 7:53 that Jesus writing on the ground shows that he was literate. But thanks to the apologist Sam Shamoon, I now know there is much more to it than that. When the scribes and the Pharisees brought before Jesus a woman who had been caught in adultery, they had already broken the law. In Leviticus 20 verse 10, the Jewish law is that if a man and a woman commit adultery, they should both be put to death. So why did they not bring the man? They must have known who the man was, since the woman is said to have been caught in the act. They knew the law, so they should have brought both the man and the woman. So the scribes and the Pharisees are already in violation of the Mosaic law. Their cunning plan to trap Jesus was to give him two alternatives. The first was that he could uphold Jewish law and say the woman should be stoned to death. But under Roman rule, the Jews were not allowed to inflict capital punishment on their own dime, as they say. We know this because when they brought Jesus before Pilate in John 18 verse 31, he said, "Take him yourselves and judge him according to your law." And the Jews replied, "We are not permitted to put anyone to death." If Jesus had told them to kill the woman, they could have gone to the Roman authorities and said, "He's inciting rebellion against Rome. He's telling us to go against Roman rule, to inflict capital punishment, which we aren't allowed to do." The second alternative was that Jesus could say, "Don't kill her," when they would have accused him of being a false prophet and asked who was he to contradict Moses. In Exodus 31 verse 18, God gave to Moses the two tablets of the covenant, tablets of stone, written with the finger of God. In Deuteronomy 9 verse 10, Moses speaks to Israel, saying, "The Lord gave me the two tablets of stone, written by the finger of God." So what does Jesus do? He stoops down and writes with his finger on the ground. This symbolic gesture should have resonated with the scribes and the Pharisees. Jesus was indicating that he was God who gave the law. Did Jesus have a wry smile, I wonder? "Come on, you lot. Look what I'm doing here. See what I'm trying to show you. I can't say it out loud. It's not yet my time. But if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, look." John, in describing this physical act, is telling us who Jesus is. The scribes and the Pharisees were trying to test this very God who gave the law to Moses, writing the tablets with his finger, as if they know the law better than the one who gave it. When the Jews persisted, Jesus straightened up and said to them, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." He then stooped down again, I bet with a sigh, and wrote on the ground a second time. The crowd gradually left one by one, because they knew they disobeyed the law of Moses by not bringing the man as well as the woman. In this they had sinned, and they walk away in disgrace and humiliation instead of turning to ask for forgiveness. When Jesus stoops down the second time, John doesn't say he is writing with his finger. This corresponds to a passage in Jeremiah 17 verse 13. All who forsake you will be put to shame. Those who turn away on earth will be written down. Is it a coincidence then that Jesus was writing in the ground? He was showing that, as Jeremiah said, these Jews were forsaking him, walking away in humiliation. The scribes and the Pharisees had turned away instead of asking for forgiveness. I wonder what Jesus was writing down. It must have grieved him that they could not seem to open their eyes to see, unstop their ears to hear, and soften their hardened hearts, especially because of the sacrifice he was soon to make. I've read this passage before without any understanding of the subtle depths of this beautiful short narrative. John describes these acts of Jesus in which he, without needing to say a word, shows himself as Yahweh, the God of Moses and of Jeremiah, and the God of Abraham. Well, this is a rather shorter one today, but I was so excited when I came across this deep dive, I just had to share it with you. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.